Hi guys, welcome to this part number 3, whereby in the previous part we just done with the introduction about the JSF. The next part, the previous part, we just talked about what we mean merged bin. It's helpful, it helps us to grab the data, to hold data for the validation as the next part. As the things we're going to work on right now for the validation and so on. That means we just have seen the properties of the merged bin. It's like it identify exactly the control that are going to control each and everything from the web page. Okay. So that means it should have constructive argument. I told you that one. It should have getter and setters, nothing else. So we just implement what we call some encapsulations. Default, private, public. I've explained this one in previous video. You can go ahead and check for that one. So now, before the controller, we're going to do now some what you call the validation part. Okay. This one now we're going to do what you call validation. It's going to be all about validations. So what do you mean for the validation? For the validation, that means we need to validate some data before sending somewhere else. Okay. For example, there are certain, the controller itself has this kind of the capability, of course, the thing we're going to work on. The first one, the controller we have what we call required validation. Also, we have required validation. Also, we can have, apart from the required validation, we can have what you call range. That means number range. Let us say number range and number range and also length. So I say that we have number range. That means it's going to validate the range of number. Also length, the string length. That means the number of the character, either maximum and minimum. It can hold number range numbers. We can have the length validations. Okay, character length. Let us say character length validation. Okay, so we do have also we can have also Regex validation, where now we just implement what you call Regex and so on. That means regular expression validation. Lastly, we can have what you call customized validation. Under the customized validation, it goes in hand whereby you are now the one to customize. To work on customized validations. That's why now you just do customized your own. Three of this one, it's just be done by the controller. By the customization one, you are the one to implement them, so that can be implemented on the screen. So let us start with the required validation. Let us see what's going to happen if we say the value is required. Okay, so now let us back to the Validation project. But before we just continue, I want to show something. By now on, you can see our web page doesn't look great mostly, whereby we just have this one. You can see just being on the one line. It's not a good thing. We can put this one to be exactly on what line, each line by line. Okay, so we can go ahead and just put like first name to be on the one line. We can that's the good thing with the JSF. It has its own controller whereby we can just implement to add the columns, where you can have the, like under the forms, you can go here and then you say h.panel grid, and then you say column. Because we do have label and text only, that means we have label and certain areas where to put some data. You can have panel grid to have only 2 columns: the columns for the labels, the column for the text, and the password, nothing else. Okay, and then you can close like this way. Let me just cut this one. Let us cut, then we paste the down here after, like this way. Okay, now if we come here on the website, we come refresh, you can see it's going to be on the same page. Okay, see the line by line. So okay, now let us back to the web project. That means we're going to apply, like if the user click on register, you can see just calling their thing for registering, but you can see we're going to first apply those kind of the types. The first one we're going to start with this kind of the required validation. You go to the number range and so on, you move on to the end. Okay, so if we come here on our web, let us go to the, here we go. So if we need to make sure we're going to apply what you call the required field, we can come here and the input text for the labels, nothing, we don't have any issue for it. So we just have the issue with the value. I'm going to just come here, I'm going to just hit enter. You can see I just come here, like I wish to add something else, I can go ahead, but I wish to be on the same line so that you know exactly what's happening. I can go and then hit enter, then hit enter, and then I can say I wish to this one to be required. Okay, and then I say it's going to be true. That means this one is going to be required. If like first name is required, what's going to happen? Let us try to save to see what's going to happen. Let us have this one to close the input text, and then we're going to add each and everything we need from here. Okay, so now if we come here and then try to refresh the page and then I click register, what's going to happen? If I click register, they're going to say, gee, this you can say validation error, value is required, but doesn't have meaningful word. How can we make these things to have meaningful word? We can come here. Okay, let us go to the NetBean project, and then you come here. You can see under the input text, we can add what you call label. When you put label, this one is going to be removed automatically. When you say label, and then it says this one is going to be first name, for example, like this way, first name. This one is going to be the label. Now if we try to back there and then try to refresh and then you try to click on register, you can see they're going to say first name validation error. You can see it's how you can make these things user friendly, nothing else. Okay, so now this is how you can make the certain field to be required, nothing else, before it being sent. That means you can see it's just holding data for validation before anything else. You can see before it was just sending data automatically to the other page, but now just holding the data before, after validation, it will be able to send data. Like if I put some data from here, then I click register, you can see I'll be able now to go to that kind of the page after validations. So that's all from here. So now let us try to see, let us apply automatically for the other part of the validations. Let us apply the validation for the number ranges. Let us start for, let us apply the number range. Let us say for the age, who is allowed to use our system should be in this kind of the range. That means, let us make, let us make last name to be valid too, so that we can apply this kind of the validation. To the end, we say required to be true. Also, we put label. Label is going to be last name, and then we go, this will be the input text, that's where it ends. So let us have also okay, I was saying that now we're going to go back to this guy. For the, we just have from here the first one, let us put the label. Let us put the label. This one is going to be age, so that we don't have what called a biased name of the validation that we're being working on. So we need to validate the length exactly by using this. I mean, we're going to use now what you call the core, JSF core, to validate this kind of the input text. You just need to come here. You can see wherever we have, hit enter. Then we're going to add this inside of the input text. You can see we have the closing tag of this kind of the opening tag, and also we have the close tag here. And the inside of this one, that's where you just put your the things. Okay, it's what's called the core. I'm going to use what called if. This is the standard way for this kind of the JSF core. If I do like this way, it's going to be imported automatically. Then I need to do what you call, I need to validate them by using what you call, you can see we can have by type validate, we can have validate bin, have validate double range, we can have validate length, but for us we need the validate long. That means because it is a long, when you say double, that means it's going to have float numbers and so on. Okay, that means we need to validate the long range. We specify the minimum and maximum it can hold, nothing else. Here we go. Then hit enter, and then you go to the validate long range, and then we need to specify exactly the maximum value it can hold. Let us say 35. Also let us start for minimum, of course. A good practice. We say minimum, let us say it is 18, and then the maximum let us put for 50. Okay, that means those are the one allowed to use our system or to be a student in our institution and so on. After this one, need to close it. Okay, after closing, that's how you validate the long range. Okay, you can specify exactly the message to be populated outside, like what we call the validator message, nothing else. But let us leave that one right now. So now if I go ahead, you can see validate long range, minimum 18 and 50. If someone else goes there, let us try to go a web page and then try to refresh, reload. If we click register, you can see if we click on register, the first name validation area, last name validation area, age validation specified attribute is not between the expected value 18 and 50. Let us put something here. Let us put some data, and then put some data. Let us put here, and then click register. They're going to remain only for the age. If you put some data and then click register, what's going to happen? If we click register, they're going to say that the JSF must be a number consists of one or more digits. Why? Because the reason why, our managed bin, it has under the managed bin, let us go to the managed bin. Under the student, the age has integer. It has integer. This is what's called the control will validate. I mean, the user will put data depends on the data type of that kind of variable. Otherwise, if we put number, I mean a string as is an integer, is not going to allow it because it is expecting integer numbers, nothing else. Okay, here you go. And then if I provide like 817, it's going to be now validation error. You see, expected 18 to 15. If we put 20 is allowed. Okay, then you click register. You can see, thank you for registering your password and so on. Because we didn't put some password, that's we're going now to put that one later, right now. So now, if you can see, that's how we do the validation. Okay, it has accomplished it with now the next type of the validation. It has the next step for the validation for the password. Let us go for the password. For the password, of course, the same process. The same process said the label. The label is going to be password. Also, and then put this one, and then we're going to put some data here. Of course, we can make it to be required, to be true. Of course, password is required. Also, we need to make sure this kind of I'm going to use f dot validate. Now we need to validate length. This one is used to validate the length, the number of the character we just need. So you know, in database level, we do have what's called valid character. Also, we have character. What difference between character and valid character? When you say character, when you say student ID should have character of 5, that means that's the minimum and the maximum number it can hold, 5. But when you say valid character, and you need to specify exactly the maximum, for the minimum you can leave it. Okay, you can say maximum is 8. That means it's going to be the only minimum and the maximum it can hold. That's all. You're done. So then we can say, when we specify, say let us say for our password should have minimum 8 characters. That means if we say minimum, this one is going to be the minimum character can hold. Also, we can say there's something we forgot to put national identification ID. That's a national identification ID should be 18 characters, like for based in Rwanda and so on. Okay, and then we can close this one. Like say the validation length should be 8 minimum and maximum 16 or 10 or so on. That's, you can go ahead and implement anything else. I'm just saying the password should be minimum 8, nothing else. Okay, now if we come here, let us see what's going to happen. If we try to refresh the page, you can see this kind of the validation age validation specification attribute is not between 18. You can go ahead and say 20 and register. You can see password as a validation because the validation comes before. Those are the types of it, and then you can put some value to say 1, 2, 3. You can see it is minimum of 8. Now if I say register, they're going to say the validation error length is less than the allowed minimum number. You can see now if I put now we say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, okay, and then I say register, it's going to be registered as like this way, nothing else. Okay, that's how we just do the validation, nothing else. Okay, last but not least, we're going to do on the now we're going to the Regex. You can go ahead and read how you can do the Regex things, how you can implement the Regex, and so that you can be able to move on. Yes, like for Regex, we can have some of them. For example, if we need to validate, like if we need to certain value, I mean certain value are being used to have exactly in the given Regex, you can have, for example, if we need to be in, we can have capital A to Z. That means it can hold, it can have on the pattern that can have, it can only execute, can allow only from value for A to Z. So if we say, for example, I'm just trying to give you this overview, we can have also 0 to 9. We can have also to 6. You can specify whatever you need. If you wish to multiply something else, you can use by curly braces. You say 3. That means if you say 3, it's going to do what's called the multiplication. This one 0 to 9 can be replaced by what you call digit, like this way. This kind of the digit. That means it's going to know exactly that it's not need from 0 to 9. Okay, nothing else. This something, some of them you can use, can know how to validate the email. You can say from A to Z. After A to Z, you can have at and then do validation, so on. You can have the special characters by using and so on. Let us take sample of them. Let us sample of that, and then let us say for example, the password, that's a big, I mean it allows the pass for A to Z on the capital letter or the small letters. For the small letters, we can have this one for A to Z, nothing else, construction of them. Okay, so let us try to see what's going to happen. You can come here, let us have for the Regex, let us apply for the Regex, let us have another value to be applied for the Regex. Of course, it's going to require us to put something else. Okay, so allow me to put this one under the last name so that you know exactly what we're doing on. Okay, so let me just come here. Let us say we just use exactly the same f dot validate by using Regex, and then specify a pattern, and then the pattern, that's where you provide exactly what you need. Okay, I can say my last name, I need this last name to be only A to Z. That means if I say A to Z, and then if I say A to Z, that means only allowed if small letters only, nothing else. Then if I close like this way, and then I come here, you can see it is a required, of course, but if I do come here, let us try to do refresh. You can see index size 0, it's something error from here. That's like this way. Okay, now if we try to register, they're going to say first name validation value is required. You see the validation, the value is required. Now if we can say put some information from here, and then we provide capital something, and then click register, what's going to happen? They're saying that Regex pattern do not match because exactly we should provide some validation, validate message, because the pattern should be with small letters only. If we provide like Jeremy in small letters, then Regex can see Regex pattern not found, not match. I'm going to show something because we just need small letters only. For the last name, I'm going to let us try to see what's going to happen. It should not allow us to continue. Say have this kind of the validate pattern. It is A to Z. It does have also okay, this one just let us try to do some implementation validation regex. We can, okay, because we're just trying to resolve this one, this kind of the vertex, it is somehow we just need to go deep and then you just grab the idea. Let us take, for example, if we wish like to grab the digit, let me digit comes from 0 to 9, we can multiply 3 of them. You can say for like if it this kind of the last name, if it is like a phone number, it can be like this way. We can hold another digit and then let us say multiply by 3, and then let us have 3 of this one, and then if we try to again to do like validation, what's going to happen, you can see if we try to refresh and then you provide some data, of course, and then register, going to say regex pattern not found. But if I provide 1 2 3, again not found. But if I put dash 1 2 3 register, you can see now it has gone. Just how just do validation for this one, but you can see the message that being shown is not, doesn't, it is a meaningless. Okay, you can come here and they say, you can say what you call validator, a message specify the format should be digit like this way. Okay, now if we come here and then try to refresh the page, and then we just have something unreliable, and then we click register, they're going to say the format should be in this one. Which format? We should provide the label. Of course, we should use the label, exact the label of what's going to happen. You can come here and then you say the phone number. For example, the phone number, if it's just there for the phone number, just for the sample, phone number format should be like that way only. Like for example, in that kind of the information, you can see if we provide some data and then say 1 2, then register, the phone number format should be in this one. You can just provide the exact validator message and then you move on. You can see, you have seen how you can validate this one. For the customization one, you can move on and then work on that one too. It can work, it doesn't matter. So now before we mark this one to the end, you can see this kind of the message that's being displayed down here. How can we make sure this kind of the message that's being displayed after on each column? In each line, like first name, just show this field is required and so on. You can come here, you can achieve this one by coming here, just by coming here, you can see we do have validate length. We can come here under the output text of this one. We can come here outside of this kind of the output text. We can come here and say this for the message. Okay, we can say h message, and then specify the message is going to be for what. You specify exactly the ID or the label of a certain input text. Okay, please note that one, because should be unique. Okay, it is better to come here, you put the ID, because you can use the ID or you can use the label to identify this kind of the file. Okay, first name, for example, like this way, this is going to be exact the ID to use. Okay, you can use first name in small letter for you to make sure it's just simple. Then you can come here and say for this first name, and then you close like this way. That means any kind of the message that being raised is going to be shown on line. Okay, now if let us try to copy this one, allow me to copy. I just put out after the text. Also, we do have this one after the text. You know, validator should be inside the input text. This one goes out. Okay, also we do have this one. We just change first name is fine. This one also we need ID. I want to show something. Also we need ID. We need ID to be last name. Let us use this one to be for last name, and then this one is going to be also the same purpose, ID, and then say age, and then it's going to be this one age, then this one is going to be ID exactly. It's going to be past. Let us use past WD, and then it's say for past WD. We good. Now if we try to execute, what's going to happen? Okay, let us try to execute to see what's going to happen. If we try to do like this way, you can see can see it just being what happened here. You can see we no longer have, we can see under the panel grid we have the input label, we have text, also we have message. We can see we have 3 columns at once. That is why I need to come here and then change to B3, because we have 3 columns at once before we move to another thing else. Now you can see we're good. Now if you try to click register, you can see the now error is just being shown on each line, That's what you need. Okay, so now you can see it still have this kind of the color of the black. It's not a good thing. You can make this color to be red. Okay, you can come here, wherever have this kind of the message, you can come here, it's just put the style. Do you remember the styles, the inline styles, say color to be red. You're done, nothing else. Let me just copy this kind of the styles to be copied under the each message we do have from here. So for this one, also for the last one, is the last, yes, the last one, and then we save. Now we try to refresh the page, and then if you can see now the error has been turned to be red. That's great, because some of the errors has the color of the red. This is what we mean for the validations. I hope you just enjoyed the next part. We are now going now to try to grab this data and save this data to the database. Thank you all. So we just covered everything for the validations. For recap, what we did, what we covered. Let me show you what we covered from here. We have just covered the validation types. We have required validation number range, where we just validate the number range and even the character length. For the regex, we did it that one. Also, we have for the customized validation, I'll just share something for the validation, but it is the same thing for the validation. So thank you all. See you in the next part. Thank you.